What is going on, everyone? It is Kendeazy here, back inside the playbook with another video. And last week we were talking running backs and quarterback rankings, and this week we are back inside the playbook with our wide receiver and tight end rankings. There are a lot of wide receivers out there, especially in that first round. Do you go Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, or Jamar Chase? Do you go Tyreek Hill, or do you wait a couple rounds to get Jalen Waddle? There are also a lot of candidates at the tight end position. I really think the top five will not be the usual suspects. You might get a few of the regular names, Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, but behind that, the top 3 through 8 could really be a toss-up. So you're really going to want to tune into this rankings list. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, check out some of our other videos on the channel and our TikTok shorts, because they are filled with information that will help you win your fantasy league. We are designing scripts and content to make you a better fantasy player in all aspects of the game. So without further ado, guys, these are the 60 names that you need to know about. 40 wide receivers, 20 tight ends. These are the top names of the wide receiver and tight end position. Without any more talking, let's get into the video. Let's get into these lists. Let's go. All right, everyone. Kicking off our wide receiver list at number 40, we have Christian Kirk. Now, in a crowded Arizona wide receiver room, Christian Kirk finished with 982 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns, and finished as wide receiver 26, only participating on 83% of the routes. Now, he is the number one, or got paid like the number one, in Jacksonville. Coach Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence at the helm. Look for them to target Kirk. Got him at number 40. It's going to be an interesting season. At number 39, we have Traelin Burks, the rookie wide receiver on the Tennessee Titans. Now, the rookie steps into being the number one target on a Titans team that is expected to make the playoffs. He will be the number one target until Robert Woods returns from his ACL tear. Although there are some reports that are saying that Robert Woods could be ready to go for week 1, it is still a major injury, and we're going to have to see how Woods returns off the injury. But when they are not running the ball with Derrick Henry, look for Ryan Tannehill to go Burks' way. He will get a lot of volume and a lot of targets. At number 38, we have rookie wide receiver Drake London. Now, Drake London on the Atlanta Falcons is going to be the number one target for Mariota or Desmond Ridder. I like him as a clear-cut Calvin Ridley replacement. The Falcons are not very good, so he will most likely be in a positive script for the most of the season. He will be in line for a lot of targets, a lot of catches. It's going to be him in the Kyle Pitts show every game. At number 37, we have Monroe St Brown, the sun god himself. Now, last year, St Brown received over 110 targets and caught 90 receptions for the Lions, and he also finished 11th in the league and yards after the catch with 435 yards. He can really get down the field. The problem is the addition of Jamo Williams and DJ Chark. TJ Hawkinson is still there, not to mention DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams can catch passes out of the backfield. I love the talent. It's just a lot of mouths to feed in that offense that can be capped by the disappointing QB play at times by Jared Goff. So got him at number 37. At number 36, we have Tyler Lockett, and Tyler Lockett last year finished as wide receiver 16 with 1,175 yards and 8 touchdowns, but that was all with Russell Wilson as his quarterback. Now, he has to repeat those stats this year with Drew Lock. Certainly, he's not Russell Wilson, so there are a lot of legitimate questions that can be asked about the Seattle offense. Personally, I just think there are a lot better options that you can go with other than Tyler Lockett. Got him at number 36. At number 35, we have Elijah Moore, and last year the Jets rookie wide receiver finished with 43 receptions and 538 receiving yards. Zach Wilson in his second year with Moore, they both should look more comfortable in the offense. Garrett Wilson and Berrios are also in the room as well, but I do like Moore to build on year 2 as the wide receiver 1 for now. Got him at number 35. At number 34, we have Deandre Hopkins, who missed some games last year with an injury, but he is now facing a 6-game suspension for PED use. Now, D-Hop should remain D-Hop, but you will have to wait 6 weeks to get him. At number 33, we have Hunter Renfrow. Last year, Hunter Renfrow was an 1,000-yard receiver with 9 touchdowns, running on less than 80% of the routes. This guy is extremely efficient in the slot. He ran the 9th most routes out of the slot. Renfrow is a PPR hog for Derek Carr. 8th in receptions at 103. The problem is Darren Waller missed time, and now Devontae Adams is on the team. Now, those are 2 reasons why Renfrow's targets could be cut in half or go down. I still trust him as one of the best slots in football, and I think the Raiders could be one of the best offenses in football. At number 32, we have Gabriel Davis. Now, last year, as the arguable 3rd or 4th target behind Diggs, Beasley, and Emmanuel Sanders, Davis was still able to put up 549 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns. Also, one of the more efficient receivers in the game, as his 15.7 yards per catch was 11th best in the league. Now, Emmanuel Sanders and Cole Beasley are gone. Davis will step into the wide receiver 2 role for Josh Allen. Dawson Knox and Jamison Crowder will steal some work, but I really love Gabriel Davis to improve this season. I think he could be one of the biggest sleepers or steals in the draft. At number 31, we have Rashad Bateman, who becomes the number 1 target in Baltimore as the Ravens traded away Hollywood Brown this offseason. Now, this is the same Ravens offense that is not going to pass the ball a lot, but when they do, expect the ball to go to Mark Andrews and their new number 1 receiver, Rashad Bateman. The 146 targets to Marquise Brown have to be picked up by someone this year. He also missed the first 5 games of the season last year, but he is ready to go for the full season. Expect him to be, involved in the offense more, to get a larger part of the workload. I expect him to be another sleeper, and he could be another league winner, another league-winning wide receiver. At number 30, we have Darnell Mooney. We just talked about Hollywood Brown and his 146 targets. Well, right behind him was Darnell Mooney with 140 targets. That is an extremely good sign for Mooney to build chemistry early with Justin Fields. Mooney was also an 1,000-yard receiver. With Matt Nagy gone, no really other options other than Cole Kmet. Look for another solid season of Justin Fields and Darnell Mooney. At number 29, we have Michael Thomas. Now, will Michael Thomas ever return to prime 2019 form? He missed the entire season and has not played for the Saints since Drew Brees was throwing him passes. Now, he was one of the best wideouts in the league. Can he step in and be the same Michael Thomas with Jameis Winston? It's just, we'll have to see what he can do. Got him at number 29. The talent is still there. At number 28, we have Adam Thielen. Now, Adam Thielen, opposite Justin Jefferson, is still very productive. Just under 100 targets, 67 receptions, and 726 receiving yards. Double-digit touchdowns the last 2 years. He's kind of made his fantasy money in the end zone, so you might be banking on touchdowns to keep him afloat. Now, he did miss 4 games last year, but I do like Adam to come back fully healthy and have a solid year as long as he's on the field. Kirk Cousins is going to continue to find him in the red zone. He's going to continue to find him all over the field like he's been doing for the past couple of years. At number 27, we have Juju Smith-Schuster, who is now the number 1 target for Patrick Mahomes on the Kansas City Chiefs. He basically missed the entire season last year with an injury. The other wide receivers on the Chiefs right now are Marquez Valdes-Scantling, rookie Sky Moore, Mecole Hardman, and Demarcus Robinson. He should definitely outperform those names. Now, I'm not sure what his stat line is going to look like. If he can, fill the hole of Tyreek Hill, those 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns, but he definitely can produce in that offense. Now, at number 26, we have Hollywood Brown, and Hollywood Brown wanted to be part of a bigger passing offense, so he gets a trade to the Arizona Cardinals. And then D-Hop gets suspended, and he definitely becomes part of a bigger passing offense. He's going to be the number 1 target for the first 6 weeks of the season. Now, he might be a downgrade or a sell high when D-Hop returns. You might want to trade him before D-Hop returns to the field, but if he can get 1,000 yards and 140-plus targets on a Ravens offense that was 29th in the league in passing, Arizona Marquise, his floor might be the Ravens Marquise ceiling. At number 25, we have Los Angeles Chargers wide receiver Mike Williams, who last year took a massive step in production as he was finally that wide receiver 2 target across from Keenan Allen that they drafted him to be. Now, they dropped his target distance from 14 yards to 10 yards and really started using his full route tree instead of him just being a downfield receiver. He was top 25 in receptions with 76 and 14th in targets with 129. Count on Justin Herbert to look Williams' way again, and he'll have another productive season. If Eckler's touchdowns go down, maybe that can lead to more Keenan Allen and Mike Williams getting some touchdowns and getting some looks in the end zone. Could be another great season for Mike Williams. At number 24, we have Jerry Judy, and in 10 games last year, Jerry Judy put up 467 receiving yards. He participated on less than 80% of the routes, but that was under the old coaching staff and quarterback. Look for Coach Hackett and Russell Wilson to get him back on track, and he could be a dangerous target in Denver. At number 23, we have Cortland Sutton on the Denver Broncos. Now, you can flip-flop these guys, Jerry Judy and Cortland Sutton. That's why I have them ranked next to each other. But personally, I do think Cortland Sutton is going to be the one that flashes just under 100 targets last year. He's in a great position to exceed that number with Russell Wilson. He also had the 8th most air yards in the league. He is going to get down the field. We know how Russell Wilson liked to find DK Metcalf on the deep ball. This could be a new connection in Denver. This could be Cortland Metcalf or DK Sutton, if you will. At number 22, we have Chris Godwin. Now, Chris Godwin will miss about the first quarter to half of the season as he needs to recover from an ACL tear. Now, whenever he comes back, and depending on the Bucs record, they will need him to step right into a wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2, role across from Mike Evans, whatever that may look like at that time. Red zone targets, 26 red zone targets to put him 4th in the league. Brady looks for him to make key catches. Great pickup. You're just going to have to wait for him. At number 21, we have new Los Angeles Rams wide receiver Allen Robinson. I personally think that this could be the best wide receiver 1 and a wide receiver 2 spot in fantasy football. Now, Allen Robinson has been in quarterback jail his whole career and has put up numbers, but now he gets to join Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay on the Rams. He plays opposite Cooper Kupp, which could be either very bad or very good. Bad if Matthew Stafford just continues to feed Kupp the ball at a ridiculous rate, but good if defenses start to take a notice of Kupp, which will allow Allen Robinson and the other wide receivers to eat against weaker matchups. Now, Allen Robinson missed a couple games last year, but prior to that, 2 years in a row, he was over 1,000 yards and right around 100 receptions with Mitchell Trubisky and Nick Foles. Add Matthew Stafford to the mix. I really like Allen to produce in this offense. Got him at number 21. At number 20, we have Amari Cooper. The Cooper Scooper is now in Cleveland. He was very productive on the Cowboys offense along CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and the rest of the crew, but now he becomes the number 1 target for the Cleveland Browns, a team that really needed a number 1 receiver. There's questions about who's going to be the quarterback, and on top of that, the Browns are not a heavy passing team. Donovan Peoples-Jones is emerging, and Kareem Hunt is always a threat in the passing game, but I don't think too much work will be taken from Amari Cooper. If Deshaun Watson is the quarterback, then upgrade Cooper a few spots, but for now, we're going to have to hold our expectations. At number 19, we have DK Metcalf, and last year, DK Metcalf put up pretty good numbers as Russell Wilson's number 1 target. Now he is the presumed number 1 target of Drew Lock, and I don't expect DK Metcalf to fall off the face of the planet, but you should hold your expectations for the Seattle offense. At number 18, we have Houston Texans receiver Brandon Cooks. Now, Brandon Cooks is going to be a prime volume guy. He definitely could exceed the 100 target threshold that we want to see our wide receiver 1s at. Now, the Houston Texans are going to be losing almost every game or in a position to lose every game. Davis Mills will have no one else to throw to on that offense. It's going to be another strong year for Brandon Cooks to just go out there and run up the stats. I really like Brandon Cooks as a low-end wide receiver 1. At number 16, we have Carolina Panthers wide receiver DJ Moore. Now, personally, I've been iffy on DJ Moore, but you can't deny that he's been good through bad quarterback play. One thing you like to see is that in 2020 with Teddy B, he was the 19th most targeted wide receiver, and with Sam Darnold, he was the 6th. So Sam Darnold is going to look his way. The opportunity is there. That should repeat. He just has to go out there and make the most of his opportunities. At number 15, we have Steelers wide receiver Deontay Johnson. Now, Deontay could have been the clear-cut number 1 wide receiver for the Steelers, but then they went and drafted George Pickens, and of course, Chase Claypool is still there in the wide receiver room. Now, Deontay also feasted off of Ben Roethlisberger's short targets at 7 yards per, and also finished 2nd overall in the league in targets. Now, whether the quarterback is Mitchell Trubisky or Kenny Pickett, it will be completely different. The target share will be, divvied up. It's going to be completely different how that offense looks. We're going to have to see what Deontay Johnson's target share looks like. At number 14, we have Indianapolis Colts wide receiver Michael Pittman. And last year, he was a top 20 wide receiver under Carson Wentz, and now he has Matt Ryan as a quarterback. The other wide receiver options on the Colts are not that strong, so expect Matty Ice to target Pittman whenever he can. At number 13, we have Jalen Waddle on the Miami Dolphins. Now, the question is, can a Tua-led offense support 2 fantasy-relevant wide receivers? I believe so. Last year, Jalen Waddle was a top 20 wide receiver and took over as the number 1 target by the end of the season. Now you add Tyreek Hill and that will surely impact his numbers, but what I do like about Jalen Waddle is the 443 yards after the catch along with the 104 receptions. If his reception volume gets cut because of Tyreek Hill and the other options, maybe he has the ability to see some of the return on that value in terms of yardage and yards after the catch and big play ability. So it's going to be an interesting year from Jalen Waddle, but I do like him at number 13. At number 12, we have A.J. Brown, who is the new wide receiver 1 in Philadelphia for the Eagles. Jalen Hurts' boy off the field. They have strong chemistry and will look to start out fast. The problem is Jalen Hurts is not a strong thrower of the ball, and there are a bunch of other options on the team. Philly is also a heavy run offense. This could be one of the biggest X-Factor picks because of his quarterback's play style. It's hard to predict how involved A.J. Brown will be week to week, but he is money in the end zone. He is money on the field. How many games will he play? Will he play the full season? You have to think that when he is on the field, though, he will produce. Got him at number 12. At number 11, we have Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins, and T. Higgins last year had an amazing season, and it could have been even better had he not missed a little time in the beginning with an injury. He had 74 receptions and finished over 1,000 yards receiving. A full healthy Higgins across from Jamar Chase, and with Tyler Boyd on the field, there would be plenty of space for T. Higgins to shine. I really like him as a high upside wide receiver 2, wide receiver 1. It could be a very big year for T. Higgins. At number 10, we have Mike Evans, and with Chris Godwin being hurt for the beginning of the year, Russell Gage just getting there, the third receiver being Tyler Johnson or Brashad Perryman, and now Gronk is gone, Brady's going to be looking Mike Evans' way all season long, especially with Godwin out in the beginning. Hammer Mike Evans at number 10. This could be a scary year for Mike Evans. At number 9, we have Deebo Samuel, the wide back. Now, Deebo Samuel is going to have another great season for the 49ers or for another team if he does get traded. Whoever he plays for, expect a slight regression in rushing touchdowns as he does not want the wide back title. Now, even if they do run some rushing plays for him, I don't expect to see the same amount of volume in that category. But what you can like from Deebo Samuel is he was second in the league in yards after the catch. And when Deebo gets the ball, something is going to happen. Don't blink. He is a absolute blur on the field. You got to love Deebo Samuel at number 9. At number 8, we have Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert's number 1 target in their third year together. Now, last year, he had the second most routes run in the league, 8th most targets in the league. That is Justin Herbert's guy. He's going to be on the field a lot. We like to see him get in the end zone a little more, but a lot of that came from Austin Eckler just being a beast. But if there's some touchdown regression with Austin Eckler, look for Keenan Allen as a solid option to take some of those touchdowns. At number 7, we have Tyreek Hill, and for the first time in years, Tyreek Hill is not a hands-down top 3 receiver in fantasy. Now, on the Dolphins, there are so many questions about him and Tua. Is he the number 1 target on the team? No doubt, but what does his usage look like? I still believe he's an elite weapon, but the question again, can Tua support 2 fantasy-relevant wide receivers, especially putting them in the wide receiver 1 category? Now, I think you would have to assume that Tyreek Hill is the 1A and Jalen Waddle is the 1B. But again, in fantasy football, you never know. But again, we're going to have to go with Tyreek Hill and just trust that he is the 1A in this offense. At number 6, we have CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb becomes the number 1 for Dallas as Amari Cooper leaves. He now gets to showcase his skills. His rookie year, he was mainly in the slot, and he expanded his route tree last year and saw more time on the outside and overall saw more receptions and targets. CeeDee Lamb has everything it takes to be a dominant number 1 in the Cowboys offense and a top 5 receiver in the NFL overall. I really think it's going to be a big year for CeeDee Lamb. At number 5, we have Stephon Diggs, and no Cole Beasley, no Emmanuel Sanders. He already received 164 targets with those guys on the field and on the roster. Lock in Stephon Diggs for another great year with Josh Allen. At number 4, we have Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson took an incredible rookie season and just blew it out of the park. He saw 120 targets his rookie year, and then last year saw 160-plus targets and went from 1,400 yards to 1,600 yards. He is one of the best receivers in the league, primed to have another monster year with Kirk Cousins. Justin Jett is at number 4. At number 3, we have Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver Davante Adams. Davante Adams links up with Derek Carr, his college quarterback, and this is the best receiver that Derek Carr has had since Amari Cooper in 2017. Now, Carr does have a high checkdown rate, but then again, who were his downfield options? I think that this is a completely new offense. I like the other options of Renfro and Waller opening up the field for Davante Adams. This could be an interesting but productive year for Davante Adams. At number 2, we have Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver Jamar Chase. Now, Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow look like they're going to run the NFL for like the next 5 to 10 years together. They had a lot of big plays. He showed a lot of downfield ability. Can they link up on those big touchdowns again? I think so. But does T. Higgins get involved a little more? I think so. But I think Joe Burrow, if any quarterback, if any offense can support 2 wide receiver 1s, it's this Cincinnati Bengals offense. So please fire up Jamar Chase again. And another side note I just want to mention is that yards after catch ability. You got to go watch Jamar Chase, his rookie highlights. That yards after catch ability is so crazy. He can just make one move and turn a 10-yard catch into a 70-yard touchdown. I am a big Jamar Chase guy. At number 1, the number 1 hands-down wide receiver in fantasy football is Cooper Kupp, and there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Number 1 in targets, number 1 in red zone targets, 3rd in slot snaps, the best slot receiver in the game. Even if defenses key in on Cooper Kupp this year, Stafford will still look to get him the ball. While I do expect Allen Robinson or Van Jefferson to take a lead in the offense and steal some work, Kupp is still that guy. He's still going to be the number 1 in fantasy football. Okay, everyone, kicking off our tight end list at number 20, we have Evan Ingram. Now, Evan Ingram coming over from the New York Giants gets a fresh start in Jacksonville, and I really think it could be quite refreshing for him. Typically, first and second year quarterbacks defer to their tight ends as a safety binky, and Dan Arnold was the 4th leading target last year with 41 targets for Trevor Lawrence. So slide in a better Evan Ingram, and we could see 50 to maybe 75 targets for Ingram, especially with the Doug Peterson offense that, showcased Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert. I really like his upside at number 20. At number 19, we have Gerald Everett, and Mr. Everett is coming off a career high in yards and receptions in Seattle, and he is now Justin Herbert's tight end in Los Angeles, in an offense that already has Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Austin Eckler. Where does Gerald Everett fit in? Look for him to be a solid option in Justin Herbert. It's just he's below some of the others in the pecking order. At number 18, we have Irv Smith Jr. on the Minnesota Vikings. Now, he's coming off an injury where he missed the entire season, and Irv will look to come back and be a piece in the Vikings offense. Maybe he'll take a step forward as Thielen grows older. I'm not sure. But Tyler Conklin last year, the fill-in tight end, gave the Vikings just under 600 yards. I don't see why Irv Smith can't get at least that and more. At number 17, we have Tyler Higby on the Los Angeles Rams. Now, Higby ran the 6th most routes out of the position and played the 2nd most snaps of any tight end. It's just that Matthew Stafford doesn't really look for him in the passing game. He still hauled in 61 receptions and grabbed 5 touchdowns, but he plays a limited role in that offense as there is a clear pecking order in terms of targets. At number 16, we're going to call him Albert O on the Denver Broncos. Now, Albert O had a decent rookie season with Drew Lock, 33 catches, 330 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Hopefully, he can build on a better season with Russell Wilson and, like the other pieces in this offense, take a step forward. At number 15, we have Hunter Henry on the New England Patriots. Now, to be clear, I'm not really a fan on anyone in this Patriots offense, but I suppose that one of the better options is Hunter Henry at the tight end position. There is clear chemistry with Mac Jones, especially in the red zone. He caught 9 touchdowns and finished 7th in red zone targets at the position with 17. He'll have to look to score again to be super efficient, but if he can find the end zone, he's a solid pick. At number 14, we have Noah Fant, and Noah Fant got sent to Seattle with Drew Lock, so we don't have to worry about QB chemistry change, but the Seattle offense has 2 very good receivers like the Broncos. I guess less mouths to feed in Seattle, though. You had KJ Hamler, Tim Patrick, Javonte Williams, MG3 taking work out of the backfield. The 3rd wide receiver on the Seahawks is Freddy Swain. I am not that concerned about Noah Fant not receiving targets. He should have no problem finding his spot in the Seattle offense. It could be another decent year for Noah Fant. At number 13, we have Cole Kmet on the Chicago Bears, and this could be a scalding hot take, but what if I told you Cole Kmet could be the next tight end to get 100-plus targets? He finished last year with 94 targets. They cleared out the position for him. No Allen Robinson. The only other real target on the team is Darnell Mooney, especially in the red zone. You got to find the big guy, especially with those young quarterbacks. We could be talking about Kmet as one of the steals of the year. I really like him at number 13. He could be moving upwards by the end of the year. At number 12, we have Mike Gesicki on the Miami Dolphins. Now, this is kind of strange because Gesicki lined up last year exclusively as a wide receiver. He's basically a wide receiver that plays tight end. Last year, he saw 112 targets, but now with the addition of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle growing into the offense in his 2nd year, does Mike Gesicki see the same work? I'm not sure, but we still like his downfield ability. Gotta like him at number 12. At number 11, we have Dawson Knox on the Buffalo Bills. Now, Dawson Knox saw a lot of his value come from finding the end zone. I'm not going to call for a touchdown regression. I'm just going to say you should not expect that, and that's not the reason why you should be drafting him. Knox is going to be a nice option for Josh Allen and will take the pressure off of Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs. 4th in red zone targets at the position. If he can keep finding the end zone, he'll have another great season. I'm just not too sure if you should have high expectations for Mr. Knox. At number 10, we have Pat Freiermuth. Gotta love Pat Freiermuth on the Pittsburgh Steelers. He had more catches than Dawson Knox, Darren Waller, and Dallas Goedert. Just under 500 yards, but that could improve. Whoever the quarterback is, whether it be Kenny Pickett or Mitchie Biscuits, I do like Pat to be the safety blanket in the offense, and he could get a lot of receptions again. Got him at number 10. At number 9, we have Dallas Goedert. After Zach Ertz's trade to the Cardinals last year, Goedert had 5 games of 5 receptions or more, 56 receptions and 836 yards on the season. Goedert is a great tight end talent. The problem is system and quarterback. He's already capped by Hurts throwing upside, especially in the red zone. Will Hurts run for those touchdowns again, or will Goedert be the first red zone option, or will it be A.J. Brown? Will it be Devontae Smith or someone else? A lot of question marks, but you gotta like Dallas Goedert's upside in the offense. At number 8, we have Zach Ertz on the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I really like Zach Ertz while DeAndre Hopkins is out. The last month of the season, Ertz had 28 of his 74 receptions and was really starting to build chemistry with Kyler. He had 112 targets last year, and I think he could be in a great position to grab another 100 plus. I think especially while DeAndre Hopkins is out, he could see a little more red zone usage, which could lead to more touchdowns. But when DeAndre Hopkins comes back, maybe expect Ertz to take a step back as well. You also have Marquise Brown in the mix, so you have to keep that in mind, but I still really like Zach Ertz to take a step forward. At number 7, we have TJ Hawkinson. The Hawk train got off to a hot start last year and then really cooled off. He also missed the last 5 games of the season with an injury. He should be back and ready to go, but there are so many mouths to feed in this offense now. Where does TJ Hawkinson fit in? J-Mo Williams, DJ Chark, Monroe St Brown, DeAndre Swift, and Jamal Williams are all pass catchers that will have some effect on his week-to-week floor. It's going to be hard to predict TJ Hawkinson's value until we see what the distribution looks like, but he's very, very talented at the tight end position, so got him at number 7. At number 6, we have Dallas Cowboys tight end Dalton Schultz, and I bet you didn't know that he was one of 6 tight ends last year to receive 100-plus targets. Dalton Schultz really found his stride last year in the Cowboys offense, especially in the red zone. He caught 9 of his red zone targets, 8 of them were touchdowns. He definitely will make his money in the red zone, but with the loss of Amari Cooper, I do think that Schultz takes a step forward. Book Schultz for another year of 100-plus targets and production in the Dallas Cowboys offense. At number 5, we have George Kittle. Last year, George Kittle finished the season with 71 catches, 910 yards, and 6 touchdowns in 14 games, which is not bad at all. One thing I love about Kittle is his yards after catch. Since 2018, he's been top 5 in yak at the tight end position. Kittle is truly a burner at that position. He definitely could hit the 100-plus target threshold with Trey Lance. I really like his opportunity, but there are a lot of factors that come into his appeal. You know, Jimmy Garoppolo, Kittle was Jimmy's guy. Is he Trey Lance's guy? How much of the run game do they go to with Trey Lance? Is Brandon Ayuk a thing? Because he was pretty much non-existent for the first half, 3/4 of the season. And then obviously you can't ignore Debo. What does George Kittle's production in the offense look like? It's going to be another interesting year, but you can't deny the talent. You can't deny the yards after catch. He's a burner. He's a monster. They're going to keep him involved in the offense. You got to love George Kittle. At number 4, we have Darren Waller on the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, last year, Darren Waller missed some time, but if he's healthy and ready to go, lock him in as your tight end for your fantasy football team. Week 1 last year, he saw 19 targets and never saw less than 5 for every game he was on the field. He finished the year with 94 targets and missed 6 games. There was clear chemistry with Darren Waller and Derek Carr. You'd like to see him get in the end zone a little more, but the question is, with Devontae Adams on the team and then Renfro's 128 targets, how does the pie get cut up between the weapons? You still got to like Darren Waller's opportunity. He's one of the fastest wide receivers and explosive players in the game. You got to love him. At number 3, we have Atlanta Falcons tight end Kyle Pitts. Until Drake London proves himself, you have to think that Kyle Pitts is the 1A in this offense. He's going to get majority of the targets. We definitely want those touchdown numbers to increase, and I think they will because he can't get much worse than 1 on the season. Now, he ran the second most air yards at the position with over 1,100 and finished the year with 1,026 yards on 68 catches. What does that mean? It means that Pitts will will get down the field and make big catches and get some yak. If those touchdowns can go up, he'll be a prime option at tight end and he'll be a monster. Okay, these last two are like 1A and 1B. They can be interchangeable, whatever you want to do. At number 2, though, we're going to start with Mark Andrews. Now, last year, Marky Mark finished as tight end 1 ahead of Kelce, and I think he could do it again, but I do like Travis Kelce a little more this year. Andrews had the most receptions and ran the second most routes at the position behind Kelce. One thing to note is that he led all tight ends and red zone targets. Lamar will look to score the ball with Mark Andrews when they throw. At number 1, we have Travis Kelce, another year of the Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce show. Only this season there will be no Tyreek Hill. Does that affect Kelce's production? Probably not too much. One of 6 tight ends to receive 100-plus targets, and he ran the most routes of any tight end in the league, so he's going to get chances all over the field. This could be a monster year for Travis Kelce with no Tyreek Hill in the offense. All right, Playbook Nation, those were our list. Those were our top 40 wide receivers and our top 20 tight ends. Please tell me what you think about each of those lists. I'm excited to hear what you have to say in the comments. Do we think Cooper Kupp should be the definitive number 1 overall wide receiver? Should he be going as high as number 2 overall in people's drafts? You know, it's going to be a crazy year. You know, wide receivers are being drafted crazy high, so it's important that we rank them, and we want to get those rankings right, especially those tight ends as well, because like we said in the beginning, 3 through 8, you know, we're pretty sure about Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews, but 3 through 8 could be very different in terms of the usual suspects. As always, thank you so much for sticking around, hanging out with me, and watching this video. I appreciate each and every one of you for just allowing me to talk some football with you. If you would like to help the channel out a little more, you can hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me and the channel going forward. And as always, we will keep you updated with content on our TikTok at Kendeazy_the Playbook. And you can also talk to me, fantasy, sports, entertainment, anything you want, at Twitter, at Kendeazy_. You can reach me at both of those places. Well, guys, my name is Kendeazy. This is the Playbook. We will be back with our next video, our mock draft 1.1, our first mock draft before the season starts. Everyone have a great 4th of July. Stay safe. Be cool, everyone. Let's talk some football again. Until the next time.